Hey guys, how you doing? I just wanted to make this quick little tutorial, or not really tutorial, but kind of a video review about this new Jaja Stylus. They did a Kickstarter, and it has 1024 levels of pressure. It operates by sound instead of Bluetooth. It has this fancy little clear disc so that you can actually kind of see where you're painting instead of using like sausages. And yeah, someone sent this to me so that I could test it out. So thank you very much for that. That's awesome. But yeah, so far I'm not very impressed with this unit. Um, first of all, it's $90, which is pretty steep, but it sounds pretty good because 1024 levels of pressure. It looks pretty accurate because you can kind of see where you're painting. The first thing I noticed that it actually requires a AAA battery, so that makes it a little bit heavy, but I mean, that doesn't really matter that much. You get used to it. They also have these two trigger buttons here. They're actually a little hard to press, so I mean, when you're painting, you try to press these, especially like because it's kind of high up a little bit. Um, yeah, you'll see it. They're set to undo and redo right now, so the layer mode's flipping on and off. But yeah, you're supposed to be able to customize those in certain programs. The other thing is, it comes with this cap. Normally it's like this, and so I took it off, and I was like, oh yeah, you're supposed to put it on the back. So I was like, I'm gonna put it on the back. Oh wait, it doesn't even fit on here. It just falls off, and the reason is because these are totally not correctly glued together. It just came apart, which is an awesome start for a $90 product. So yeah, in order to get it to work, you have to hold this end so that it will fit on there. Otherwise, it won't work because it's broken. Same with this. If you try to put it on, oh no, fail. Yeah, it's broken. $90. So yeah, so far out of the box, not super impressed. But yeah, let me show you guys a little bit with this painting. Alright, so I'm in Procreate right now, and I'm going to try and do, some little sketches and just show you a little bit about how it works and the pen pressure. So right now I have a round brush selected, and if you modify the settings, you want to make sure to go to Dynamics, and then you have your pressure set to opacity onto max. A lot of times they'll be turned off, and then you'll think you don't have any pressure sensitivity, so you gotta turn that on. But the bad thing about this that I found is a lot of times it skips, and it claims it has 1024 levels of pressure, but I really am not sure. So you see how it's like not even really drawing. See, and it's skipping all these lines right here. Yeah, so I can't even get a continuous line. So that's really frustrating. Go and change the color here. And again, you can see that the lighter I press, it's more transparent, and it's more opaque when I press harder. But I mean, I can't even get a continuous line to show you that even gradient. So I mean, I've heard that the first generation nibs have this problem, and oddly enough, I've heard that you're supposed to lick the tip of this to kind of get the connectivity going again. But I don't know. It's kind of weird to like lick the tip of your stylus, so I was gonna try and just use a wet Q-tip to see if that helps any. So I'm just gonna rub that on there and try it again. Seems to have helped a little bit, but still, when you're like trying to get the light levels of pressure, like it doesn't even recognize it. So I mean, again, see if I can zoom in a little bit. So yeah, it's like super finicky. All right, there I'm actually getting a continuous line, but it's that time nothing even came out. So again, skipping lines. Change the color so you can see it better. A little bit bigger. Yeah, see, nothing even really came out that time. Again, skipping lines. See if I can get this a little bit wetter down here. So it's a little bit better. Now I've heard that they're coming out with new tips, and I was reading on their forums people having this problem, and the guy was saying just to email them, and they'll send them new tips or new nibs. And I emailed them, and I never heard anything back. So who knows? I mean, so far, just from this tiny little test, I would not pay $90 for this thing. Now you're supposed to be able to kind of customize your pressure levels. So if your stylus is turned on and you hold the lower button for a couple seconds, it'll make two beeping noises and the light flashes. So let me do that again over here. So that sets the lowest pressure sensitivity. Now I was holding it above, so that means the lowest pressure should be not touching. And then for the harder one, you press down to however hard you want to press, and you hold the top button. So now that should have set the hardest pressure. So even when I'm lightly pressing, still a little bit hard to see. Like here, nothing was even coming out. Or like you'll get these random just like spots, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I mean, from this test, there's no way that I would believe that it has 1024 levels of pressure. I mean, my Asus performs 100 times better than this, and it only has 256. So I mean, I don't know if I just have a faulty unit or what, but I mean, so far, pretty bad. Yeah, so I did a little more licking of the tip, and yeah, it definitely is a lot better now. So you can see I can get pretty good range of opacity. You can see that. So yeah, you just have to lick it all the time. Whoop. So this is a little sketch that I did, and it's funny because this thing took me probably like over 2 hours to do, which normally if I was working on like my Asus, it would take me like 15 minutes. Um, I mean, I guess part of that was because I've never used this program before, but it's a pretty simple program. I mean, you can learn pretty much everything in like 10 minutes or less. Most of the time was just trying to get the pressure sensitivity to work, or like skipping lines like that. So let's see. Zoom in on this a little bit. So the other thing I found is that it has these two buttons, and right now they're set to undo and redo. Now I've heard some programs you can customize what they do, but so far I haven't found any programs we can actually customize what the trigger buttons do. So I don't know, maybe because I haven't really gone through this program that much, but so far I haven't figured out how to switch them. The other thing is, you can do things with the stylus, like on these menus, but again, a lot of times it doesn't really recognize the stylus, so I usually just use my finger. The other thing is, you're supposed to press and hold for the eyedropper. A lot of times that doesn't pop up. So again, that's just another one of those. Um, See, I'm doing it right now, and it's not popping up. It's just one of those annoying things that you kind of have to try and get used to. This is the brush size over here. I mean, a lot of times it's me, like, I just went over that line like 5 times and nothing came out. It's like here, um, it did that one splotch, the footprint of what the brush looks like before I was painting. The other thing is, they're saying that a lot of the programs, when the stylus is on, you can't touch the thing with your hand, but it's totally not true. Like if I rest my hand on here, like I can't even use the stylus. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe other programs disable touch when the stylus is on, but apparently not this program. I can try and draw a little bit for you guys, but I mean, it's really tedious. Like a lot of times I have to try and do the eyedropper with my hand again. Yeah, see, it's like the struggle just to get it to paint anything. Trying to get the eyedropper not popping up. Come on. Yeah, see, like nothing's even ridiculous. A lot of times, dust and stuff gets kind of caught on this disc. You have to clean it like every so often. And it's probably pretty painful to watch. And probably as frustrating to watch as it is to paint. So yeah, a lot of it is just me fighting with the technology because it doesn't work all the time. Just trying to get this eyedropper. Do that stamp again of the brush stroke. See, nothing's coming out. Oh my god. I mean, you can also lower the opacity over here if you want. Kind of build up. I mean, if you're going to be doing that, that kind of defeats the purpose of having opacity set to pen pressure. But since this hardly works, like you might kind of have to do that. Which then, I don't know if you'd even want to buy this. Like, I mean, based on my experiences so far with this thing, like I definitely would not buy this pen for $90. I mean, maybe like 20. I mean, if even that, I mean, I can't even get it to work a lot of times. Pretty frustrating. I mean, so many times I had to like undo just to get the right. See, it's like nothing painting on here. And I'm using a fair amount of pressure. And it's supposed to have 1024 levels of pressure. I don't think so. Maybe I have to lick this thing some more or something. Yeah, curse you. Yeah, I think licking it actually makes it work better than using like a Q-tip with water on it. Just make sure it's clean, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you can flip the canvas, which is cool. I actually usually don't even use these trigger buttons for undo and redo, just because they're actually kind of hard to press. Like if you use these all the time, your finger would have muscles on it. Yeah, I mean, based on how it's performed so far, there's no way I would use this for an actual professional illustration. I mean, the Asus I use is awesome. And I use it for 100% of all my professional work. And I've been using it for like a little over a year now for all my work. And I don't have any complaints about that. Like, I thought I would miss the 1024 levels of pressure that like, or actually 2048 that the newer Intuos tablets have. And it only has 256, but I mean, I don't miss those pressure levels at all. Like, I don't even really notice it that much. So, I mean, if you're strictly looking for a portable device, to do work on, like, that's your main reason to buy it, then I would just go ahead and buy, like, the Asus EP121, or I heard the Samsung Series 7 is really good. I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard good things about it. But I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy a brand new iPad just to do. I mean, if you're gonna buy it for other reasons, then it might be cool to have a stylus around that you can do some sketching if you want. But I wouldn't make that your main motivation for buying it. I mean, even then, like, I think $90 is way too expensive for this. If it performed the way I thought it would, then yeah, it would probably be worth it. But it definitely does not yet. The other thing I heard is that, um, since this thing is based off of sound, that if you're in a noisy environment, it's even worse. So right now it's like, I don't know, 11 p.m. and there's literally like no other noise in my entire apartment. It's completely quiet, and it still like doesn't work that well. I mean, you can imagine if you're in a noisy public area. Alright, so I repositioned the camera a little bit so it's a little easier to see and it's not so distorted. And you can see my pressure levels are a little bit better because I just licked the crap out of this thing. So yeah, I guess in order to get this unit to work that costs $90, you have to constantly lick this, which is awesome. So yeah, especially I'm sure if you're out at like Starbucks or something and you're sitting here licking your stylus every 5 minutes, that's yeah, that'll be pretty good for other people to watch. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I guess I can try and do a little more on this thing. It's kind of weird because in order to have my camera top down, like I have this tripod, so I'm like trying to work between these three legs that are like right in front of me. It's a little hard. I don't have like a fancy like ceiling camera or anything. I'm like, one of the legs is like right in front of my face, so I have to like look around it in order to paint. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so it definitely seems to be working better now that I licked it a lot. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better now. I'll try and work on his face a little bit or something. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating that um, I sent the email to those tech guys, requesting some of the newer nibs, but yeah, I never heard anything back from them. Kind of sucks. Like you would think that if customers were having this many problems, they would at least reply. I mean, the thing is, I didn't buy this unit myself. I had one of my friends online give it to me. But I mean, just because you get it as a gift, that shouldn't mean that you're not able to get a working unit. If it's faulty because of their poor design. So I don't know. Maybe we'll wait and see if they ever answer me. All right, taking like extra time. I've got to keep reaching around the legs to like switch colors and all that. Yeah, so I'm not really going over the features of the program that much. That wasn't really my intent to do a tutorial about Procreate. So I'm really not going over that in much depth. I just mainly just kind of wanted to show the stylus in action. But it does have layers and different layer modes and stuff. So I can just add a layer. And let's see. So yeah, you have like multiply, linear burn, color burn, lighten, screen add, color dodge, overlay, hard light, soft light, exclusion, difference, subtract, hue, saturation, color, and luminosity. So that's really good. I think Sketchbook Pro, like I don't think they have overlay in some of these other modes. I think that mainly they just had like multiply and maybe like two other ones, which is cool because I use overlay quite a bit. And maybe I'll play around a little bit just to kind of show you guys. So yeah, see, this is the overlay mode. So that's one thing that I really like about this program. And the other thing I like about it is that you can change brush size and opacity. They're just like right here. And a lot of the other programs, like it's a little bit harder. It takes longer to get to those things because I change my brush size a lot, and I don't really like having my brush size on pen pressure. Like that, I've just never really liked that option very much. So, whoa, orange boobs. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing stuff just to kind of show that they do have different layer modes. Whoa. Yeah, anyway, that's layers. Oops. Alright, anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this. Oh, wait, yeah, there's. No. Yep, that's it. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial about the Jaja Stylus. Um, Bottom line, so far, it's pretty crappy. Not worth $90. Maybe I have a bad unit. I definitely have bad tips that require copious amounts of licking. So maybe with the next tips, if I ever get them, it will be better. But yeah, so far not impressed. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.